Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren Rosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Start off quick in some sports as we were just talking. Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach Jr. It was a draw Saturday night.
Great squabble, man.
It was a great fight.
I mean, I like, we were watching the fight and I was in the group chat. I'm like, they either going to call it a draw or it's going to be a real close decision for Roach.
Yeah.
But ended up being a draw, which I think was the right call.
I think a draw was the right call. Only thing I just didn't like is once you knee, that is a down, right? That is a knockdown.
It should have been.
Right?
Yeah. I didn't think it was a draw. And I'm not like the business. I don't know all the technical stuff, but I thought that Lamont Roach won the fight.
Well, Roach was the busier fighter.
He
You
was.
know what I'm saying? He threw 112 total punches. 112 total punches landed, and Davis, I think Tank was like 103 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Roach was just a busier fighter. Tank landed more power punches.
Mm-hmm.
Roach landed more jabs, more total punches. It was just a good squabble, man.
It was a good fight.
But that should have been counted as a knockdown. You take a knee in the middle of a fight.
I think so. I would love to see him run it back quickly, sooner than later. But anyway, good morning, Morgan.
Tank say that's not happening this year.
I know. He says it's not going to happen. He said I guess he got another fight planned. What's up, Morgan?
Good morning, DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God, and Lauren LaRosa. Happy Monday. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good.
Less black and highly favored.
All right, y'all. Well, speaking of fights, did y'all see what happened on Friday? We wasn't talking about the bout, but President Trump, he says his meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky, it did not go well. So the two had a heated exchange during a meeting in the Oval Office on Friday. Trump told Zelensky he is in no position to negotiate with Russia, adding that without the U.S., you don't have the cards. Now, Trump told Zelensky to make a deal or we're out. Let's take a listen to the exchange between President Trump, Ukrainian President Zelensky, and Vice President J.D. Vance was also there, but I'll get into his comments in a second.
From the very beginning of the war,
you're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people. You're
Yeah.
gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
speak
gambling
about?
with
What do you
World
speak
War
about?
III. And
Yeah.
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to you,
Far
Mr.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
So Vice President J.D. Vance also entered the chat and told Zelensky to use his manners, saying that he hasn't been grateful for the aid that his country has received from the U.S. Let's hear those comments from J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today.
meeting, have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please.
Yes.
You think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking.
What do you guys think about that exchange? I'm sure you saw the video.
What I didn't understand is they was talking to Zelensky like he invaded Russia and not the other way around. Like I literally for a second forgot who started all this. Like,
Yeah.
like they spoke to Zelensky the way they should be speaking to Putin. But Putin is their guy, so I guess they riding with their homie.
I mean, I think they spoke to him like he was a child. They didn't speak to him like he was a president. They spoke to him like he was beneath them. It just sounded crazy to see somebody. And you didn't even say thank you when he walked in the office. They didn't even let that man speak. They didn't even let him have a conversation. I thought it was totally disrespectful to talk to another president like that. I think that, one, I don't think it should be filmed. I think they should have did that behind the doors where they were able to squash out and get everything out on the table. I just thought that was really disrespectful.
So Zelensky ended up leaving the White House in a hurry without signing that planned minerals deal, for the rare earths.
I thought they Uncle Phil'd him. I thought they Uncle Phil Jazzy Jeff. They didn't throw him out?
They kicked him.
I thought that was the word.
They kicked him out to an extent, but he did. He supposedly Zelensky was interested in coming back to try to, do the deal. To which Trump was like, "Nah, you can't come back now." So Zelensky has since released a statement on social media thanking America. He did, issue his thanks and his gratitude, express his gratitude for the visit. And of course, last week marked 3 years since that full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine. So I'll keep you posted in the next hour as to what some of the other leaders around the world are saying about this and what we need to do probably moving forward. And then I will also get into the comments, those post-fight comments from Tank Davis and Lamont Roach.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. Let's get in some front page news. Now, over the weekend, the fight Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach Jr. ended in a draw.
Good squabble.
Great squabble.
I think draw was the right call.
I think so, too.
You know, immediately when the fight was over, you know, I was thinking to myself, okay, they're either gonna call it a draw or it's gonna be a split decision that leans towards Roach. So, you know, when they called draw, I thought that was the right call. Even though they should have counted Tank taking that knee as a knockdown. They do that, Roach wins the fight.
Yeah, he definitely wins the fight. And, you know, I'm a casual boxing fan. Like, I'm not a boxer fan. But when I seen it, I thought that, you know, when you take a knee, that's a knockdown.
It 100% is a knockdown. It should have been counted as a knockdown.
You can't call a timeout.
The ref actually could have called the fight. Because if you take a knee and then you run to your corner like that,
yeah,
that's like quitting.
Yeah. Most people thought that was what was going to happen after, like when he went to the corner. I thought it was over too.
Yeah, well, he did say that he got his hair braided and the grease was in his eye, and he wanted to wipe that out of his eye.
There was a lack of focus from Tank the whole fight that I saw though.
Right,
like even the way he was
like
chatting with the referee and everything, like it was just I don't know. He didn't look like himself.
And he always be running to the side looking for his people, but I felt like when he was doing that as well, I'm like, I think he underestimated it a little bit.
Maybe.
And I was very impressed at the way Roach was able to take Tank's power. Because Tank was landing some shots and Roach was eating them.
Didn't even know.
Mm-hmm. Well, good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. I'm like, dang, can I get in this conversation just a little bit? If for anything, they should bring it back to the DMV. You know what I'm saying? We got MGM, we got convention centers, we got, you know what I'm saying? So Barclays was cool, but everything, so the reigning WBA lightweight champion, Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, they clashed in the bout, ending in a controversial draw. And as previously mentioned, as you guys talked about.
It wasn't controversial.
Nah,
you see the DMV bias?
No,
it wasn't controversial.
It is controversial. There's so many people that are like, what the heck happened? People feel like because Tank
they feel like he should have lost.
Because they feel like because Gervonta is who he is, he was able to get back up and that fight went on.
Okay,
it was controversial.
Okay, I'm like, dang, let me get into it. Okay, so as previously mentioned, y'all talked about the knee that Tank took in the 9th round. That was not ruled a knockout by referee Steve Willis. But to your point, MV, let's take a listen to Tank's reason why he took that knee.
I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in my shit, so the shit was like, you know, like when you sweating and things like that, and the grease come in my face, it burnt my eyes. Just damn, why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real facts. Come on, man. Look at my hair. I just got this shit done. But it's all cool, man. You know how I get. They love you and then they hate you.
Excuses like that always sound weak in boxing. You know what I mean? Like, the only excuses that work in boxing is if you actually get hurt. Like if your hand gets hurt in the ring, or it's like there's an actual injury. When you say things like grease fell in my eye, or when Deontay Wilder said his outfit that he wore to the ring was too heavy, so his legs was tight. Like stuff like that be sounding crazy.
Well,
but I will say this though, he wasn't phased. It's not like he ran to the corner to get some extra help. He looked fine.
You don't feel like a little bit in that fight he gave a little bit of daze, a little bit like he was a little, he was shaky a little bit.
Not during that point. Not when he took that knee though.
Also too, the hairstylist said that that's not what happened. She did his hair Wednesday and she posted that and he's done so much stuff since Wednesday. She said the grease in question, it literally says no grease, no alcohol, no flaking, no wax. So
something happened. Like I don't know how hard that punch was. Roach hit him with. It didn't seem like it was that hard, but it did something.
Well, let's hear from Lamont Roach. He also spoke after the fight saying he put belt to butt. Let's hear those comments from Lamont Roach.
I'm him. I'm telling you that. I'm one of the best fighters in the world, man. And it showed tonight. He probably wasn't welling when he said that grease got in his eye. But if you voluntarily take a knee and the rest start counting, it should be a knockdown. If that's a knockdown, I win the fight. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not banking on that knockdown to win. I just thought I pulled it out.
What happens next?
I want to run it back for show.
So as a result of this fight now, Tank's record is no longer perfect. It was 30-0, but now he has that one draw. And but at least he gets to hold on to his title. So to y'all guys' point and to the point of the fighters, they want to run it back, and we'll see what happens again. And I'm sure it'll be highly, highly anticipated. If it's not going to be in the DMV, it got to be in Vegas. So I don't know. But speaking of fights, let's get back on the topic of Zelensky and Trump. European leaders are pledging billions in support to Ukraine following the emergency summit in London on Sunday. Now, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, he said UK France, and others will work to figure out a plan to stop the fighting and present it to President Trump. He also rejected a suggestion by a reporter that the U.S. is not a reliable ally after President Trump's heated exchange with Ukrainian President Zelensky in the Oval Office. So let's hear more from UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing. Nobody wanted to see what happened last Friday, but I do not accept that the US is an unreliable ally. The US has been a reliable ally to the UK for many, many decades and continues to be.
Well, that's good. That's good. He still has faith in the U.S. to be a good ally. Because, you know, I can see, you know, people all over the country, people all over the world, you know, stocking up on nuclear weapons or creating, new nuclear weapons just because they may not feel safe. They may not feel like the U.S. is a reliable ally. So I'm glad that they still do.
Well, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, he also entered the chat. You know, there's a lot of reaction to all of this. He said that a message was sent, and he's proud of how the president handled it. Meanwhile, Arizona Democratic Senator Mark Kelly, he said this is not good and said the exchange was performative. Let's hear the comments from them.
I've never been more proud of President Trump for showing the American people in the world you don't trifle with this man.
You know, saying thank you in the Oval Office, being put on the spot like that is, it seemed to me that it was just, J.D. Vance saying, hey, look what I can do, Dad.
Well, look, you guys, it's a lot going on. So let me just try to wrap this thing up with a bow. There's other news going on in South Carolina. The state is currently under a state of emergency as wildfires ravage the state. Governor Henry McMaster, he made the declaration on Sunday as one of the largest fires threatens residents in the Myrtle Beach area. Now, the fire in the Carolina forest has burned over 1,000 acres and is 0% contained as of last check. Meanwhile, the North Carolina Fire Service says wildfire in Polk County has destroyed at least 400 acres and is also 0% contained as of last check. More than 170 wildfires have erupted across both states, blackening a combined 4,200 acres and forcing mass evacuations. It's crazy because usually, South Carolina, North Carolina doesn't deal with these type of situations. We were just seeming to wrap up what was going on, the devastating wildfires that impacted L.A. So do you guys have any thoughts on this? Charlamagne, I know that's where you're from.
I've never heard of South Carolina wildfires in my life, but, definitely sending prayers and positive energy out to everybody in Myrtle Beach that has to deal with that at this moment.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, there's so much more to talk about, but at the end of the day gonna end. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me at Morgan Media for more news coverage. Follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Let's make it a great week.
All right, thank you, Morgan.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.